Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and the Valiant Comics of the week. We got Psi-Lords issue number 4, and we got Killers issue number 3. Let's talk about these books because I'm excited. Let's get looking at Psi-Lords issue number 4. Writer Fred Van Lent, artist Renato Guedes, and letters Dave Sharp. Covers by Raza, another by Michael Walsh, another by Tula Lotte, and another by Paulina Ganucciao. Did the best I could. Love y'all. Anyway, so this was actually probably the best issue yet. There were a whole bunch of questions that we had. They get answered in this book. Who were these guys before they lost their memory? We find out. I love the idea that they were actually brought together to be heroes before they had powers. And there was a cause higher than their individual countries. You know, they say God and country. Skip the country. Go straight for the God. This was a really good way to bring together future heroes who really don't know what the hell's going on right now. They're figuring themselves out. We get to see them advancing, learning their powers a whole lot better, learning their group powers, and then learning their individual powers as well. This was genuinely a good comic book. You get to see the true nature of Scion, who the good ones were, who the bad ones were, because there were 3. And most importantly, I'd have to say, is that the characters start to feel different from each other. First off, this cover, perfect, because I can actually recognize the difference between these two. And sometimes the guy winds up looking like these guys also. The green one is the only one that I can differentiate all the time easily, quickly. So if these 3 start looking different from each other as well, that's going to help. But on top of that, they're given humors. Oh, imagine that. Something that actually makes people human. You know, if somebody doesn't laugh at jokes, you call them soulless. Yeah, that was something that I didn't realize just how badly this comic book was suffering until this issue, where all of that is rectified. I enjoyed the humor that they had. It wasn't over the top. It didn't go Thor Ragnarok on me, which I still like Thor Ragnarok, but I could see how that was a little bit too much. It was frightening. Now, there's too much humor in that one. This didn't feel that even for a moment. I was just like, oh man, they keep on bringing the zingers. This is actually pretty good. So I loved the way that they brought up this comic book. They gave them all souls, so to speak. And yeah, looking forward to the next issue. Killers issue number 3. Let's get talking about this one here because we got writer B. Clay Moore, art Fernando Dagnino, colors art by Jose Villarrubia, and Jeff Powell doing the letters. A whole bunch of people doing covers. Sorry, I can't get into all these guys. John Boy Myers looks like does the main one, but a whole bunch of people doing the covers there. Please feel free to look that up. This one was cool because you get to see, first off, just look, I always call this like one of the most action-packed comic books that I read. Look at this. We got Wanted. So we're going to turn bullets. I love that. Like that is a full 90-degree right turn angle. Hells to the yes. I can't wait to see more of that. So this assassin, pure badass. And when he actually appeared, you know what? Let me actually find that image because it's a really freaking cool image. You see all these other guys doing the best they can. All of a sudden, this guy just shows up. He's like, yeah, sorry, guys. I'm going to take y'all out. Y'all wanted. Dude, I'm down. I'm down for seeing this. What do you call it? Yeah, that's Ninja E. So he's actually older than all of them. He's the predecessor of all the ones that we're looking at here. We get to see weaknesses and strengths. We get to see the dude who has his chi so that he can resist all sorts of attacks. He winds up getting a little bit overconfident, as people who can't be hurt usually, are wont to do, and winds up killing a whole lot of people by accident in his arrogance. Nice. He's not a villain. He's definitely not a villain. But we get to see these guys making mistakes, something that we don't usually see heroes in Marvel and DC do. I'm telling you. There's a lot of times I read Marvel and DC, I'm just like, dude, I'm starting to get a little bit worn out by, and that's not nearly with all the comic books there, but there are some comic books where it's like, dude, I think that this person has ran out of ideas for this comic book character, and maybe they need to move on. I don't know that that's going to happen here because these are very new characters. So I'm digging on this. And eventually one of these points we're probably going to wind up coming across Ninja K, Ninjak. But for right now, no, I don't want to see anything to do with him. I want these characters because these guys are awesome. On top of that, we've got a new power. We actually get to explain her power in here. It's called peripheral invisibility, which is pretty interesting. If you look directly at her, you see her, whether she's using her key or not. For now, maybe that'll change, who knows. But the idea is that with her key, if she can get it to work again, you can't see her peripherally. You know how sometimes you'll see movement out the corner of your eye? The way that the human eye works is you see, we had to learn this in the military and in the martial arts. You see movement, then silhouette, then color. So movement is first, and movement is typically out of the corner of your eye. So if someone is active, if you have a sentry that is actively sweeping the room like they're supposed to, she's going to have a real hard time getting by. She's got to wait until you look away and hope that she can get by, before you turn your head back over. Because once they look directly at you, there is no invisibility. But a passive view, and I don't know how this works on cameras. I'm interested to see how they're going to rectify that. But a passive, sentry is just kind of like, Jin. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to notice her walking right by you. So that's really cool. And she's, of course, still got to worry about her own sound, her scent, staying downwind, all that stuff. So I like that she's not OP, but she's still a badass fighter. And she's got some serious baggage that she's got to work through. I love all of the characters in here, the villains and the heroes alike, because you sometimes can't tell the difference between them. This is an action-packed book. And like I said, these books, I'm going to say probably especially this one, but this one not very far behind at all, especially with this issue. Holy crap. They are genuinely my go-to for when Marvel and DC start to get a little bit tedious. Boom. Valiant right now, killing it with Psi-Lords and Killers, apropos. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.